Monday, August 4th, 2025. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Simpson, will you take roll, please? Here.
Mayor LaKind,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem King,
Here.
Councilwoman Abbott,
Here.
Councilman Farito,
Here.
and Councilmember Chronic,
Here.
Councilmember Smith,
Here.
and Councilmember Kimple.
He's attempting to join, right? So I would just mark him here when he gets here. All right, first up, disclosures of conflicts of interest. Ashley, any conflicts of interest?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, next up, we have an agenda and a consent agenda. Any modifications to the agenda? Not, I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
And it looks like Kimball's still having a hard time getting on, so. Mhm.
Did we mark him here?
Yes. Since he's attempting to get in.
Will, where are we at with Councilmember Kimple?
I sent him the link to his Gmail account.
He's asking because he sees the meeting and he thinks he's in the meeting, but he's not seeing the events. So can you see if he's actually logged in, or is it operator error? Oh.
Or just mute your mic and call him?
Yeah.
You can't proceed until he's voted, right? Okay. Okay, that motion passes 6-0. All right, next up, we have an oath of office for Officer Hailey Leesburg. Did I pronounce that correctly? Bonus points. Woo. No, I didn't cheat either. No one told me. Chief Regan.
You hit the mute button to turn it on. Next page, please. Love it. All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and bear
that I will support and bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution and laws
to the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
and to the ordinances of the town of Monument,
and the town of Monument,
and that I will defend and protect the lives, safety, and property
safety
of the people of Monument,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of peace officer
the duties of peace officer
according to the best of my abilities. So help me God. Congratulations.
You take that. Thank you.
Not going to say anything. We have questions. Where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina. Do you want me to look at you or? I'm excited to start my career with the Monument Police Department. I see a very bright future with them, and I'm excited. I guess.
Okay, we'll go on to presentations. We have an update to the Outdoor Pikes Peak Initiative. Connor Parkowski from the Pike Peak Outdoor Recreation Alliance is here to present.
Well, actually, Connor's not here, but I am here instead.
Oh, you are
So-
not Connor.
I am not. Becky
Okay.
Lineweber, Executive Director of PPORA.
Lineweber.
Yes.
That name sounds familiar.
My husband is City Councilman for Colorado Springs.
That makes sense.
There you go.
Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We're going to start with a video. So if you would play it for us. I'll give you a little bit of background. So thank you for having me here this evening. This is a follow-up to actually a little while ago, we met with the leadership to share about the Outdoor Pikes Peak Initiative. And now we're giving you an update. We'd like to share with you where we are. We're 4 years into this planning process, and we have some exciting things to share with you. And so this video is going to just kind of encapsulate the process and where we're at. But while he's getting that up, I will share with you that PPORA, a little bit of background about us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We encompass El Paso, Teller, and Fremont counties. And we are made up of outdoor businesses, outdoor nonprofit organizations, and land managers, all working together to make the best of our outdoor opportunities here in the Pikes Peak region. Well, I can send you all the link if we can't get that up so that you can see it after the presentation.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. I did this last minute with him because it wasn't working in the presentation. So it's going to bring up my slides and we can go from there. While we're waiting on that, I'll just give you a little bit more background. Then we can go quickly through the slides. So I don't know if you all are familiar with some of the more recent happenings on the outdoor stage, but Colorado just put forward Colorado's outdoors strategy. Yeah, you can move on to the next slide. And that'll be perfect. Yep. So Colorado's outdoor strategy is a statewide strategy for outdoor recreation, conservation, and climate resilience that the state has put together. But the way that that is getting implemented is through regional partnerships. And our organization is leading one of those regional partnerships, the one for the Pikes Peak region. We call it the Outdoor Pikes Peak Initiative, or OPI for short. And we've been doing that for about 4 years. Go ahead to the next slide. This is just us celebrating the release of Colorado's outdoor strategy with the governor here in El Paso County. Okay, go on to the next slide. So we are one of, now there are 21 regional partnerships across the state of Colorado. And the focus here is locally driven, state supported planning opportunities for outdoor recreation and conservation. And we were one of the first 4. And so we are at the point of finishing up and releasing our vision plan for the Pikes Peak region. Now there are 21, and they hope to cover the state of Colorado with locally driven, state supported coalitions. All right, go ahead. Not long ago, GOCO, Great Outdoors Colorado, released their 5-year strategic plan. And in this strategic plan, they included a new bucket of dollars, $50 million, to support regional partnerships in implementing Colorado's outdoor strategy. And out of that, $40 million is for implementation. $10 million is for planning. So it's for the coalitions that are still working on things. But that's a great start for those of us that are at the point of having released vision plans, and there are about 6 of us. And I'll speak to this a little bit later, but just wanted to share that's part of their strategic plan in supporting this. Go ahead. That would have been the video, so keep going. Next slide. This is the vision of OPI, to collaboratively identify and advance priorities and innovative strategies to ensure the resiliency and improvement of our natural and recreational values for the Pikes Peak region's future. All right, go ahead. We have a number of goals, and one of them, the first, was to convene a broad-based coalition or task force across the 3 counties. So this is just a representation of that. In addition to the task force, our advisory council served as an additional layer of leadership for this effort. Go ahead to the next slide. These stakeholders met continuously. We had focus groups, we had representations from here in Monument and all across the 3 counties, leaning in on this work as we heard from the public, and we needed to nail down some of our strategies going forward. Go ahead. Goals 2 and 3 were to create and maintain a data hub and a multi-layer mapping tool. These are resources that will be available for you all to use however you can to help inform the work that you do, some of the decisions that you make. The mapping tools in particular are going to be pretty exciting. We leaned in with UCCS helped us with this, and also the Colorado Natural Heritage Program, to create a great tool with lots of layers of data that can be helpful in all kinds of planning work. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. Goal 4, we evaluated past planning efforts. You know, in this area, in this region, we have tons of great planning. So we looked at those plans and pulled out some key efforts that weren't quite implemented, talked to the land managers about that, and tried to identify what were some of the challenges. All right, go to the next slide. We also looked to the industry. We talked to business leaders, leaders of our nonprofit organizations, to learn from them what are the biggest needs for this region. Go ahead. We had public listening sessions across the 3 counties. We had 8 in the first session and then 7 listening sessions with the public in the next. They were in person as well as virtual, and we also sent out surveys, not just for residents, but also for tourists, visitors to the area. These are just some snapshots of that first round. Go ahead to the next slide. We also did some additional outreach. We found that there were some gaps in our research. We just didn't hear enough from some groups, so we reached back out and we were at a number of different opportunities to learn more. All right, go ahead to the next slide. Met with elected officials across the 3 counties. All right, next slide. And through all of that body of stakeholders, public, industry folks, prior planning, we came up with these strategies. And we took all of these strategies with the action items and went back out to the public for the second round to make sure that we got it right. So that was the question we asked. Did we get it right? Are we moving in the right direction? So there was a whole nother round, and you can move on to the next slide. It's just snapshots of that second round. All right, you can move on to the next slide. I'm trying to cover this as quickly as I can with all of you. Goal number 6 was to recommend a revised and alternative management and funding model. One of the things that we recognized was particularly where we're seeing so much growth, we're getting a lot of impacts, and our existing management, particularly on Pikes Peak, did not feel like it was working. It wasn't meeting the needs. And so we looked at 16 different models across the US of public-private partnerships and collaborations and evaluated those models. The task force narrowed it down. We narrowed that down to one, and this is one that we are now pursuing. So one of the things that we looked at was bringing in Colorado Parks and Wildlife to help manage the recreation in particularly around the Ring the Peak corridor, but on Pikes Peak, because we know that we're seeing a lot of recreational impacts, habitat impacts as well, and the Forest Service in particular needed some assistance. So we're exploring this, but that was the one we found was a key recommendation to make. Next slide. Governor Polis learned of this because a letter was sent from the land manager group you can see in the bottom corner for those that were in this Ring the Peak Trail corridor, land managers in that corridor, who all said they wanted to work together to build a partnership, to come to some type of agreement potentially for exploring Colorado Parks and Wildlife, helping to manage recreation. And so the governor came, we had a press conference with him. He would love to see this as a model across the state. And then we had a celebration after that, a reception. Okay, next slide. One of our other goals was to identify recreation conservation priorities and the key projects. So we went through quite a lot of evaluation with our task force, vetting, weighing different things, and we came up with a list of about 30 projects and 27 strategies out of this vision plan. Go ahead to the next slide. Part of this, I mentioned the mapping earlier. This is an extension of what we did earlier. We worked with Colorado Natural Heritage Program, which is out of Colorado State University, and they created this conservation summary, which helps us identify where the greatest conservation values are. And then we took that along with some recreation data that we had to create our areas of opportunity map, which is just informational, not decisional, but it's to help inform where are our greatest assets for conservation, where do we need to double down, and then where are the greatest opportunities for expanding recreation. So these mapping tools are available. All right, next slide. And all of that moved together for our draft vision plan. When I created this, we still had public comments open. We are finishing this up and we are releasing our final vision plan at our State of the Outdoors event, which is coming up on August 19th. So I invite you all to participate in that and to join us for that. Next slide. So we're at a pivotal moment. This is more than a milestone. Colorado Springs and El Paso County, we're growing at a rapid pace. You all know that. Tourism is a growing economic driver, and visitors are drawn to our outdoors. Smart growth requires thoughtful planning. So we have the plan identified and the priorities to grow outdoor amenities while safeguarding natural resources and wildlife. We have the support of the governor, who wants to see a new collaborative management model on the peak that he can expand elsewhere. We have partners and relationships and are doubling down on them. We have access to significant funding resources, but it is highly competitive and requires local investment. All right, next slide. So we have the plan, we have the partners, we have state level support and access to critical funding opportunities. And now what we need is you. So this is just asking for your support of this process as we move forward. I did add a slide. I can't remember if it's in this or not. Can you see if there's one more slide behind this? Okay. All right. I had mentioned the GOCO funding. They just released this opportunity. We submitted our letter of intent, and we learned on Friday night that we are invited to apply. So we are applying for $2.5 million, which is the cap. It is a 3-year grant. And with the criteria of this opportunity, they asked that as we looked at our regional plan, what are the most impactful things moving forward? What are some of the significant things that can be looked at and say, wow, that's amazing what we've done for our region. And so we put together this grant. We're in the process now of fine tuning that so that we can make this application, which is due August 20th. So we're in this process, but just to show you the components that are a part of this right now. The first one is something it's completely new actually to this region, and that's a recreation ranger program. And what we're looking at here, we know we have needs today. We have impacts today, and our land managers are not quite able to meet the need in a lot of places. They need support. And so this program is done or is conducted in lots of different places. And we've been working out what does that look like for the Pikes Peak region, for the 3-county region? How do we stand up a program of rangers that can support and add to our land managers in some of those critical areas? So we are standing up this program through this process to take care of needs today and the growth that we know is coming. We know we're going to need some additional management. So that's what that program is all about. And I can go into it if we had extra time. The next bucket, we're really looking at the Ring the Peak Trail corridor and the needs there. That land manager partnership I mentioned is moving forward. They're working. They just hired, Colorado Parks and Wildlife just hired Keystone Policy Center to help them with that work to come to some agreements so that they can work on that land management together. We're also working on existing trail segments for Ring the Peak and looking to improve new trail and trailhead on El Paso County, on Ute Pass in particular. And along with that comes private landowner engagement. We're also going to be doing some wildfire mitigation projects on properties that are adjacent to or nearby federal land so that we can really create some great fire breaks within this corridor, particularly with private landowners. And then we'll continue our stakeholder engagement and those resources I told you about. We have UCCS working on making that a better resource, more usable, and then we'll be coming back to you to show you how to use those resources so that it'll be an asset for you in your work as you go forward. So I think I took much longer than I was supposed to. I apologize. Any questions for me? Or I have Chris Lieber in the audience too. NES has been a consultant with us these last 4 years, helping us with this work.
I have a question about the 19th event. Where is
Yes.
that being?
It's going to be at Widener Field at the McDivitt Club. And if you go to ppora.org, there will be a pop-up that you'll be able to see that tells you about the event.
PPO.
PPORA. It's the acronym for Pikes Peak Outdoor Recreation Alliance. You don't have to type the whole thing.
So you talk about private land ownerships. Do you try to obtain conservation easements as part of this?
You know, it will depend on what those private landowners want. So what I referred to here was just the wildfire mitigation to assist them in that corridor. But there is a gap. And I think that's what you're referring to. There is a southwest gap for Ring the Peak Trail, and that has a number of private landowners. And whether we will be seeking to allow access. It could be a conservation easement, it could just be a trail easement, or it could end up being acquisition. So we don't know until we start to have those dialogues.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Mayor, it looks like Mr. Campbell.
Councilmember Kimball, you have something related to this you'd like to bring up?
Yes, first, can you hear me?
Yeah, we need it a little louder, please.
So I got to speak in a deeper voice?
Yes, please, speak in a deeper voice. Yeah,
Exactly.
Hey, great information. Really appreciate it. I'm just curious as to, is this working in conjunction with or complementing the El Paso County Master Plan for Parks and Trails? Or how does it complement it? Because they just had their master plan updated last year.
Yes, and we incorporated that into our, on our data hub. We have all of those plans we looked at, and they are all prioritized in there. And Todd Martz, with El Paso County Parks, has been very engaged throughout this whole process. In fact, the piece of trail that we're working on is, has come forward from El Paso County Parks.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very
Other
much.
questions? You're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, we have two public hearing items tonight. Ordinance 15/2025, an ordinance approving the major amendment to the plan unit development for Native Sun construction at 15010 Wood Carver Road. Mr. Ungelleider.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This will be a quick one, unfortunately. So on July 9th, the Plan Commission conducted a public hearing for a major amendment to final PUD for Native Sun construction, which is at 15010 Wood Carver Road. It's actually quite exciting project with the details of the building that's going up. I'm looking forward to bringing it to you tonight, but based on some of the information that was brought to light during Plan Commission that evening about the previous annexation agreement for that site, we thought it'd be better to continue tonight's hearing for you to for another 2 weeks to give the town attorney and myself an opportunity to review that agreement and make sure that all obligations are understood and that we're not cutting corners as to the conditions of that annexation agreement. So we're asking you to continue tonight's public hearing for that until the 18th.
Okay, we don't have to open the public hearing then, do we?
Yeah, we should, and then we continue it, don't we? We should, yes, we should open it and then continue it.
We don't have to talk about it for an hour.
No.
It's not an
Just
annexation.
want to make sure. Want to make sure we're doing it by the book. Okay, so then
Right.
we will open the public hearing item on this ordinance. And we're going to leave it open and still make a motion to continue. In the middle of it being opened.
Yes, you can make a motion to continue it and then close out tonight. Yeah.
Okay. All right, public hearing item is opened. I don't know if there's anybody here who wants to speak to it or not, but if not, I will look for a motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue ordinance number 15-2025, an ordinance approving a major amendment to the plan unit development for Native Sun construction at 15010 Wood Carver Road until
August 18th.
August 18, 2025.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to continue this item. Thank you. I'll see the vote results.
You,
Oh. Okay, that motion does pass 7-0. I guess you're off the hook.
I'm off the hook, ready for my next one.
Okay, then why don't you continue on with the next ordinance 16/2025?
So this is a long time running. Earlier this year, we came to you kind of introducing the idea of going out for a request for proposals to bring in a town engineer. Since 2017, the town has been utilizing an on-call contract for development review services. Jacobs Engineering has done an outstanding job. But there's a slight disadvantage in that they're reviewing our work on a case-by-case basis. And on-call tends to be a little more expensive than having someone on board who's can take a more comprehensive approach to development review and be held accountable to both the town manager and town council for their recommendations and their oversight. So tonight, what we're doing first, before we bring the contract for the potential town engineer, we're asking you to amend the Title II of the municipal code to include a definition of what a town engineer is and how we appoint them. So I'm going to walk through some of the details of that definition or scope that's been provided for in that ordinance that you have before you. Okay, so ordinance number 16/2025 is an ordinance adding chapter 2.26 to Title II of the Monument Municipal Code concerning establishing a town engineer. The ordinance itself will propose responsibilities for the town engineer, supporting both public projects, engineering services, and private development review services, and the relationship with the town manager, public works department, and the planning department. The first part is how do we bring them on board, and that's the town manager shall hire a qualified engineer or engineering firm and provide their qualifications. Their duties then are listed out in section 2.26020, which is very similar to other positions that you appointed positions here in the town. If you'd like, I can go through each one individually, or I can just kind of quickly summarize some of them. It's up to you how deep you want to go into this. Okay, I'll give you lots of information until you tell me to stop. So the first one is to suggest and comment on engineering related issues, ordinance modifications, public works design standards, and construction specification modifications. One of the documents that we use on a regular basis are the road design standards. This is a document that should be updated quite frequently, and it's been a while since we've updated it to meet current standards. Work with town staff to review or complete federal, state, or county permits, applications, or agency notifications. Work with town staff, organizations, and funding agencies to help develop competitive and complete grant applications or funding proposals. Couldn't be more important today than ever. Serve as the town representative during the review, plan approval, construction management, and project closeout phases of any development or planning project prepared by other engineers and submitted to the town for approval. This includes land development projects such as subdivisions or site-specific developments.
Question on that. And this includes any and all special districts that reside within the town limits, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have the authority to do all entitlement for all properties within our boundaries.
So I want to piggyback on that. I was going to bring this up later, but since he teed it off. So how do we get reimbursed for this?
That's in another section of our code, and we already receive so all the work that our on-call engineer has been doing, we actually invoiced the applicant for the funds that we spent, and they pay us back. We also collect a deposit, so to speak, at the beginning of the project, just to make sure that we have funding available for us to draw from it if it takes a little bit longer to get it from the developer or the applicant. So that's already in place. We've actually are spending a lot more time right now making sure that we're getting every bit of the dollar amount reimbursed that we're supposed to. And finance department's been excellent in helping us do that and then following up with the folks who are working with us. But that's outlined in the code.
So regardless of what district it is, it's still reimbursable.
It's still reimbursable. Matter of fact, we seek reimbursements from the Tri-View Metropolitan District quite frequently when we're doing work directly with them, and they pay us without question.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
One more question. Is this, does this cover only development, or is this piece also cover, for example, you know, extensions on a private home that you have to, needs engineering? Does it, that covers, this piece also covers that, correct? It's
So-
not just large developments.
That's correct when we need it. The
Okay,
Pikes Peak
gotcha.
Regional Building Department does a lot, does their plan review and provides their comments for
Okay.
foundations and everything else at 5 feet out. But if someone's doing some drainage changes or building retaining walls or doing something that could alter the neighborhood, well, we would use the
Okay.
town engineer for that
Okay.
aspect. If there's, you're welcome. If there's something that we feel comfortable internally in the planning department, that we're familiar enough with the details, we're not going to go spend the applicant's money just for fun. We'll make sure that the engineer understands that as well. With the continued is review preliminary engineering design drawings and design calculations for general conformance with state, county, and town requirements and sound engineering practices. Review final submitted construction plans prepared by other professionals, and after acceptance, stamp and sign the drawings as approved for construction by the town engineer. That's very important. That shows that we're taking ownership of that drawing. We've accepted it. Attend pre-application, construction, planning commission meetings, town council, or any other meetings as requested by the town. Provide so that you will see our town engineer, that you're going to see them more often at this meeting online, but they're going to be talking to you. Provide detailed design, construction specifications for successful bidding and construction coordination of town infrastructure improvements and maintenance projects. This is essential too. Anywhere we can find some cost savings or better practices to make sure our products last longer. I think that this person will absolutely, or firm will be able to provide us that advice. I will tell you, when we start this, we're going to crawl first before we run. So we're going to introduce this to that new engineer until they're comfortable and we're comfortable with them in providing advice and support. Provide project construction observations of public improvements installed as part of a private development project, and then verify general conformance with town approved construction plans and specifications. Provide project management, engineering design, and construction observation for town public works construction projects. Again, we're going to crawl first before we run. We'll utilize them more and more as they become more familiar with what we're doing. Perform final construction observation and punch list for completion of private developments for town project sites, including review of as-built drawings, testing results, as-built certification, project closeout, and initiation of required construction warranty period. This is very important to us, making sure that things are being built the way they are, that we're recording them, so that way when Public Works has to go out and find a water main, we know where it is. So. Perform engineering work pertaining to public records, property acquisition, condemnation, forfeiture activities, public improvements, improvement districts, public rights of way, easements, code enforcement.
Next page.
And code enforcement. And matters relating to special assessments and public utilities. It's good to have a professional who's ready to assist us in what we're doing. Perform additional basic engineering and special services requested by the town manager, including but not limited to design of town-owned properties, public works facilities, including streets, water, sewer, storm drainage facilities, fiber optics, and town-owned parks and buildings. As we're going and building our asset management program right now and collecting all that data, it'll be good to have this engineer familiar with it so they can oversee it, have a comprehensive approach when they're looking at future development and maintenance of existing development in town. My favorite is such other duties as prescribed by the town manager, because we all have that in our job description. And then the town manager, I think what's also important is the town engineer does not have the exclusive right to perform all engineering related services for the town. As I said, we're going to crawl first. We will add more and more as we become comfortable with the town engineer. And there are certain things we can do. We don't necessarily need to use the town engineer or the applicant's money or the public's money to do some of this work. So with that, I put it up for questions.
Yeah, one more question. I'm assuming that because it says town manager will hire, that the town engineer is a senior member of the staff then, or where will the engineer sit?
What we're planning to bring to you is a contract engineer. So we'll bring that to you hopefully at our next meeting.
Okay.
But I do hope that that engineer will be able to talk to all the departments is almost a staff member. I mean, if they have a question about an intersection that has traffic issues or accident issues, the engineer should be able to call the police chief and ask, or one of the other officers there and ask questions. But again, we'll figure out how far it goes as we get to know. Yeah. Sure.
Mr. Ungerleider. Will or shall?
So you asked me before the meeting, there's always a question about the use of will or shall in an ordinance. The ordinance or the proposed text in this ordinance says that the town manager shall hire a qualified engineer or engineering firm and provide qualifications. So.
And my point is the shall part is a must. Will means you can. So if there were circumstances, and I'm just, this is just a pie in the sky kind of thing, but if there were circumstances by which we wouldn't need to have an engineer, then it becomes a will rather than a shall. Shall means you're always going to have one. That is a little concerning to me, although I understand the need and, whatever compliance there is, but I'm having a hard time with the shall. Am I misinterpreting it?
Well, I think will and shall are almost the same, really, because there's no, you're talking about having it be more permissive, right?
Correct.
And so, yes, a shall means that you're going to do it. Sounds like you can hire someone, but the scope of what they're doing is flexible depending
It's
on
a
the
contract. It's a contract job.
Yeah.
Right.
So the contract would only be utilized on specific projects. It's not, this wouldn't be, is this like a retainer kind of a thing or?
Well, it's an engineer as needed.
Sure.
And we need an engineer. So I mean that's proof in that we've had an on-call engineer since 2017. This is an absolute need. We're about to get results from our stormwater management plan. We're going to see a lot of work there. We've got major infrastructure and other development, other projects that are going to occur probably in the next 5 to 15 years without question. And then we've got a development review that's going to be a result from the comprehensive plan update. So we're going to need an engineer. There's really no way out of it. We have engineers submitting plans to planners, and I am not an engineer, and I'll no more than I'm an attorney. So for you, so I need them on board to make sure that we get it right. Shall's not too strong of a word. Or will's not too, we need an engineer on board, but we're only going to use them as needed. I could see at some point, if say everything was fine and we didn't need any work, or we just couldn't afford to do certain projects, we won't be paying them.
But I think it's a good practice that we have a town engineer appointed. And so I think that's why we left it as shall rather than will, so that in the need, if there is a time where there's a lull, then we don't have to start a process for getting a town engineer. We just know we always have a town engineer appointed.
Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate the question. I do.
I have a question. The engineer, gets brought in on specific projects, correct?
Yes.
So if the engineer notices deficiencies based on what's been approved by the planning commission and the council, what action is the engineer going to take to mitigate these deficiencies? So for example, a building is supposed to be built and it does not get built. And it's not in the process of being built as expected. So does an engineer go out to that site and recognize, hey, you're supposed to have a building here, but we don't see a building? Do they report back that the building is not being built?
Well, I think there's still a team approach between Public Works, planning, building,
I think that's more of a.
everybody. I think we're all going to be on that together, but if they're out there and they notice something that I wouldn't notice, they're going to let me know or let Tom Tharnish know or let Madeline know that there's an issue. And we're all here to mitigate risk and problems. So if necessary, we would report that directly back to you. But we're just a big happy team that
This is
tries to
basically a
approach it.
civil engineer that you're looking for, right?
So we'll talk about that more with the contract. The engineer that we're going to be bringing to you is does everything except for architectural, and I'm trying to remember what the other one is. They cover a lot, and that's important so that when we need a specialty, we don't have to go find an on-call specialty engineer. We can actually approach our engineer, and they'll bring in the right person to assist us in that, and they'll represent us, and they'll be held accountable by us to provide the best services.
I would think based on your example, I would guess that the engineer would go to the planning department to say, wasn't a building supposed to start, as opposed to if a building is being built and they see something off, then that's where the town engineer, I would think, would step in and say, you're not building this correctly to what the plans.
I guess I would, yeah, and that was not a good example because if it's not being built, it's not being built. But what if they destroy something that's not supposed to be destroyed and it changes the landscape? Will this firm have the requisite understanding of what the plans were that were approved and that something shouldn't be destroyed, but it was destroyed? And
yeah, their job will be to not only provide potentially on-site inspections or review to make sure that the pond was built to the depth it was supposed to, and that that it's discharging in the rate that it's supposed to, and it's part of a comprehensive system. If it's not functioning, they'll reach out to me again, or Public Works, or whoever is involved with that portion, and we'll probably bring in the developer or whoever made that and say, okay, we need to fix this, and then what are your potential options to fix this? At the end of the day, we need to make sure our water or whatever infrastructure is done properly and per engineering standards.
Because that'd be part of the CO for the project, assuming that building is built. So, right?
Correct. So we have a public improvement agreement that outlines all that. It's associated. We hold a deposit for those improvements. We don't release that deposit till everything's been signed off. And then we'll be bringing back to you later some code changes for Title 18, which is going to enforce that we need actual as-built signed by the developer's engineer of what got built out there, and then our engineer will look at them, accept and review them, and either accept them or send them back. So we want to make sure that what you approved gets built.
Other questions, comments?
Yeah, just my first thought with a contract engineer is they belong to another company. So how, and do we have safeguards in place to prevent any conflicts of interest?
So the primary, that's actually was a key component of our interview process of the five proposals we received. And it was actually a pretty heavy part of that process. But we always have the ability not to use them for a project. So if we find out that they're representing the developer, we have the ability to say no. But this, and I'm not familiar, I don't believe the company we're bringing to you has any local projects. Matter of fact, they're more tuned with the public sector. But say they were to get a project like that, they typically have a different group working on that project so that there wouldn't be a conflict, but I'm gonna always take the more conservative approach. If the public thinks that there's a problem, I want to avoid it, and I'll probably bring a different engineer in. And we'll still have the on-call capability that we have now.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
So Dan, how is that different from hiring Jacobs? I mean, this is a subcontractor basically? And they're
So-
hourly?
So Jacobs didn't actually submit a proposal.
Okay.
And they could have, and we would have scored them rather well. They did good service for us over the years. But they did their review and oversight was on a project by project basis. I want to make sure that we have a municipal engineer who can who knows the relationships between each of the projects and our plans and our standards and pulls all those together as each project is coming in. I want them to question things beyond the boundaries of that project. And that was all written in the scope that we provided out for as part of the RFP, and it'll be included in the contract.
So, but it is still a subcontractor then? It's not an in-house, they won't be a regular Town of Monument employee?
They're not an employee, so that they're specifically contract used as needed as they provide services. And we'll budget for that. You'll see in the upcoming budget documents that there's actually line items for reimbursable and reimbursable engineering services. And we're going to try to do our best to make sure it's nice and transparent so you understand where the funds are being used for different types of projects. And there are some cases that, and I can't speak for Tom or Public Works, but they might choose to start using our engineer, but right now they're using project engineers for many of their works. But Tom and Andrew were both in the interview process with me, and to make sure that the group that we bring before you can handle water services and others if we decide to take it that route.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for addressing that ahead of time.
And this engineer will be appointed by us, right?
Contract is
Contract, but
reviewed by us but they're only bringing one.
So we're going to bring the engineer. The engineering firm will be here on the 18th, and then there'll be you'll be giving Madeline, the town manager, permission to sign, or telling her that she can sign the contract, and then she appoints the engineer. It's similar to what we have for the attorney's office, right? Or no, not the attorney, but who do we have like that right now?
We don't have anything else that's appointed.
Nobody.
that's the difference. So rather than Jacobs, who is on call for us, this engineer will be appointed by.
But it's been in the proposal request and in the interviews, we wanted to make sure there was somebody or a representative who would come before a council and be able to say, I reviewed this and I stand by it, and this is how it relates to other projects that we're working on.
All right. Anything else before we open this up? Okay, this is a public hearing item. We're going to open this up to the public to speak for or against this ordinance. Is there anybody here who would like to speak to this ordinance? Seeing none. Will, anybody online?
No, Mayor.
All right, then we will close the public hearing, bring it back to the council for any further discussion or a motion on the ordinance.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 16-2025, an ordinance adding chapter 2.26 to title 2 of the Monument Municipal Code concerning establish a town engineer.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. And that motion passes 7-0.
Thank you very much. So we'll be back on the 18th, and I'm looking forward to hearing your questions of this potential engineer. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Abbott, I tripped on that title too. It's weird. I should.
Next page, right? Okay, resolution 49-2025, resolution to approve a contract with Applied Ingenuity for repair to well number 7. I already have a question.
Whoa, you got answers.
How long has this been offline for?
It's been offline since July 9th.
Oh, almost a month.
Yeah, so basically what happened on July 9th, it shut down unexpectedly. We went in, we investigated it the next day because we couldn't get it running that night through normal means. I ended up calling Devco, who's one of our guys that we call for things like this. He found that there's a short somewhere downhole, so he couldn't investigate any further. So we got some bids. Applied Ingenuity was hired to perform a pull of the well. They pulled it out, and what they found was that there was some damaged wiring downhole. What they also found was the threads were coming apart as they were pulling it, which was causing a safety risk to their team for one, and then the risk that we were going to drop the pipe down the hole, and then it'd be a huge cost to get it out at that point. So they recommended that we replace that piping and that we replace the wiring. The bid received was $88,174. Didn't request any other bids as Applied Ingenuity previously underbid the competitors, and they're already on the job. It's considered somewhat of an emergency repair due to the vulnerability to the rest of the system. The well 7 is pretty critical in filling up the tank side, but we can fluctuate. I mean, we're in a maintainable position right now, but we're living on borrowed time potentially.
What's the timeline to get it fixed if this is approved?
A couple weeks. They're already ready to go. They just need to get the piping in stock and go put it in.
Okay. Any reason why this wouldn't have been brought to us in the previous meeting, given the fact that it's pretty critical to the infrastructure?
So I'll answer this part. So we didn't know what the fix was until last week. So we were still investigating everything at the last meeting. So we didn't know until Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. So we really had to rush to even get it to this meeting.
Okay.
How old's the pump in that?
The pump was put in, I know we put a new one in 2018, and we might have put another new one in 22.
So they're good for like 4 years, more or less.
Yeah, they tested it, and the pump and the motor seemed fine. So that they megged it, and so what they do is they just run the conductivity test on it, and everything worked out, and it looks like it's good to put back in the hole. Just the piping that's the issue, and then the wiring.
Right.
How much difference was the bids between the three? I mean, are we always going for the lowest bid, or?
Well, we've done a lot of work with Applied. We've done work with one of the other companies, well, actually both of the other companies, but Applied was cheaper than one by a couple thousand, and the other one by about 10, 15,000.
Okay. And was their timeline any different for the other companies being able to do it more quickly, or?
When Applied got me their bid, they said they could be there within 3 days.
Okay.
But you said that this didn't go out to a normal RFP?
No,
I mean, it exceeds $25,000 by a lot. Isn't that our purchasing policy?
So the initial repair was just to get everything pulled to see what the issue was, and that did not exceed $25,000.
Okay, but now you're up to 88,000 for the repair.
Yes.
And so wouldn't we typically go to bid for this?
I would say this constitutes an emergency at this point.
And the policy states if there's an emergency, we don't do an RFP.
Bypass that in the purchasing policy if it's considered an emergency with the town manager and getting advice from her as well.
And our RFP process would take several weeks, if not a month or so. So we would be pretty far behind, and this well is pretty critical to our water supply.
Okay.
I have a general question, and you may not know the answer to that, and that's okay. But when we budget for emergencies, how do we do that?
I believe Tom budgets extra in the distribution or well repair lines. So we just budget some padding in there in case something like this were to happen.
Okay. I'm just,
It's kind of just a shot in the dark ultimately, it's kind of, using John, like what he thinks might go wrong. And a lot of it's going off the age of a lot of things. And it's just kind of previous cost and then trying to add cost to that and just hoping you kind of budget for enough.
It's just curiosity. Thank you.
Any other comments? Mr. Kimple, anything from you?
No, not at this time.
Seeing no other comments or questions, we'll look for a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 49-2025. Resolution to approve a contract with Applied Ingenuity for repair to net well number 7.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Simpson. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can get them out here pretty quick. Motion passes 7-0. Next up, motion 50-2025, a resolution appointing a member of the Planning Commission. Mr. Ungelleider, you're up again.
So the town planning commission consists of 7 regular members and 2 alternate members. This is exciting. The Town Monument Planning Commission consists of 7 regular members and 2 alternate members. We are full at the regular members, but we have 2 alternate positions available. All members are appointed for a 2-year term, up to 4 terms. On July 21st, I got to meet with Miss Valerie Baumer. She applied for to be considered to be on the Plan Commission. We had a great cup of coffee. She's behind me, so this is kind of weird, but super impressive. I can't imagine having someone else be a future Plan Commission member. Her attention to detail, her experience, as you could see in her resume that I shared with you in the packet, and then her desire to serve the community. It's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm asking you to appoint Ms. Baumer to serve as the Planning Commission alternate member for the remainder of a 2-year term effective August 4th, with their first term expiring on December 31st of 2026. And as other members retire or leave for whatever reason, I think she'd be an excellent member for our Planning Commission, and I hope you do too. So requesting a motion to approve this resolution, appointing Ms. Baumer to serve as an alternate member of the Planning Commission. And she's here, so if you have any questions of her.
Definitely have questions.
I warned her, so there you go.
First of all, I'm very frightened.
Ditto.
Qualifications are obviously off the chart. I am curious though, it's sort of off topic, but during your time at Fort Huachuca, did you happen to plan to move the large amounts of ants that infest the area? I mean, they're quite deadly.
At Huachuca?
Yeah, there's massive.
Worried about tarantulas.
Really, the tarantulas? No, actually, very impressive. I think you'll be running planning.
You're okay.
Yeah, but does she have super secret top?
She does. She has
clearance.
She has what's that from the Animal House? Secret probation.
Yes,
Double secret probation clearance. Yeah. Any real questions?
No, not a real question, just a comment, but I just wanted to thank you for stepping up. In the search for planning commissioners, I didn't realize that we had a full slate already, but immediately Valerie and her husband Brett, also very impressive, dedicated to the community, very passionate, and we're lucky to have her.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, thank you for stepping up for sure.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, go for it.
Do it.
Resolution number 50-2025, a resolution appointing a excuse me, planning commission.
Second.
It's a nail biter.
Oh my gosh. She goes down, so.
Oops. This is going to take all of our jobs. 7-0. Welcome aboard. Yeah, welcome aboard. Next up, we have a resolution to adopt a human resource policy. A couple of them, Resolution 51-2025 and 52-2025. Ms. Trujillo. Oh, she's bringing reinforcements.
You know it. It's the team. It's the team. Good evening, council. Great to see you.
Recognize you.
I know I haven't been here in a while either. You know, I've been holding down the fort. So this evening, the first resolution I would like to bring is to accept a compensation program policy. In June, the council adopted a resolution approving the salary structure and classifications, which we have implemented. So thank you for that. But this many HR policies can continue transparency and support from the council. I will not read each part of the policy, but let you guys review it. And I am here if you have any questions.
Okay, we've all had a chance to review this. Is there anybody that has any questions regarding it?
I just have a question regarding form and format. Because the resolution says compensation program attached hereto as Exhibit A is hereby adopted. If it's not attached, how can we adopt? Because it isn't attached, it's a separate file. That's my question.
Is it an extra document? I didn't see
There,
it.
yeah, it was a separate document.
I didn't see it.
So in speaking with that resolution, that
But-
is
but it
supposed to
isn't-
be the policy itself. So there was a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, and it wasn't titled Exhibit A. So it's there, but it's not titled. So that was my question. It created some confusion, or could have, I'm sorry.
Where is Exhibit A and the,
So the HR policy 1.
That's
oh, it's that
Exhibit
one
A,
single
so I
sheet,
can
right?
see the confusion,
Yeah, okay,
yes.
okay. That's what, okay, I'm looking at it right.
Yes.
It's in the packet though.
It's in the packet. However, when someone goes to search for it, is it going to be under resolutions? And if so, it states here that there's an attachment. So when you go to the resolution and you see that there's an attachment and there's no attachment, where do you look for it?
Okay.
May I interject
No.
to clarify? When that resolution gets loaded onto either Documents on Demand or as we transition to Laserfiche, we will identify that as Exhibit A to resolution, the proper number. They will be combined into one PDF and they will be kept together.
Thank you.
Okay. We've got clarity.
Perfect.
There we go.
Okay, any questions or comments on this resolution? Then you know what to do.
Make a motion to approve resolution 51-2025, resolution to adopt human resources policy 1 compensation.
second.
We have a motion and a second.
I did.
That motion passes 7-0. Okay. Next,
It's me again.
I can see that.
Back. Okay, so the next resolution that I have for you, it speaks to the town manager evaluation policy. So as you know, on May 19th of 2025, we appointed our current town manager. We also want to make sure that we properly give her an evaluation annually, which we have discussed at previous council meetings. This resolution does speak to the policy itself, the responsibilities of myself being the HR manager, the council, the mayor, as well as the town manager. It also has a timeline, which if you have questions about that, I do have that in front of me as well that I can speak to. But this outlines how our town manager will have an annual review. The process and the form attached as well would be the form that we would use. It is in that packet to aid transparency, so that way not only the council knows the criteria, as well as the town manager knowing the criteria of which she is evaluated.
And this all comes from the Employers Council.
So we did take heed from the Employers Council, but we also did take the feedback last year that it was pretty hefty. So this is definitely scaled back. It does contain the competencies that we need to evaluate our leader.
Didn't we agree to do thumbs up, thumbs down with the lions? No, that was something different.
Emojis. They are emojis.
We all put our thumbs out.
I did have one question, and I sent this to Emily. My question is, for the town manager's evaluation itself, in the event that were to change, would the resolution have to be changed?
We would bring the form, is that what you're speaking to, correct? So if there are desired changes, to make sure that we maintain the transparency for the council as well as the town manager, we would come back after we do the evaluation. Say we wanted to add another competency or update the rating scale or the criteria, anything along those lines, we would come back, have it approved by council, and then it would be the new resolution.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments about the new process in place for evaluating the town manager? No? Okay. Then I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 52-2025, a resolution to adopt human resources policy 2, town manager evaluation.
Second.
Motion and multiple seconds.
Thank you, Emily. We are on a delay.
That motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we are up to appointments. We do have a couple of appointments that Madeline, you're going to review, or should we just discuss, or?
I think we can just discuss them, but we just need to make an official appointment to each of these committees.
Okay. So I know for B, I want to maintain that position as primary. And do you still want to be, this is the legislative policy, or would it?
Are you gonna start with A?
Yeah, we'll go with A.
I mean, we can do whatever order you want, but
No,
I just want to say, wow.
Next page.
Let's confuse everyone.
Next page. All right, we'll start with A.
so this is for the Monument 2040 Steering Committee, which Councilmember Romanello was previously appointed for. So we need to make a new appointment to that steering committee.
And
who is on
Councilmember
it?
Smith was also appointed from the planning commission. So,
You speaking as a third person now?
yes.
So maybe we should appoint that guy.
That guy?
Yeah.
It's up to the council if it's Councilmember Chronic, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Councilmember Chronic is part of the steering committee already, and I would respectfully request your support in remaining on the steering committee myself. So,
And do we have somebody that has taken former planning commissioner Smith's place as member on the PC side?
Mayor, not yet. We're just getting everyone in their position in plan commission with our new chair and vice chair. So that'll be our next request. I think we have a new member now on board, so we can twist her arm and have her join on that one too. But we'll bring it up at the next plan commission meeting and get someone who appointed.
Don't forget to let her know that at the farmer's market, make sure you give her the tent and the tablecloth.
And the bags of sand that hold it all down. No, we're going to take good care. We're going to take good care of it. Don't worry.
And the fuzzy balls.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And speaking of that, there was a very interesting question that was posed. I'm not going to say what the question was, but we're missing a bucket. We'll have to discuss offline. Some people came by and said we were missing a bucket on what those little fuzzy balls should go into.
We'll have to correct that quickly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody opposed to Councilmember Smith? All right. It sounds like
Go forth.
you have been appointed. All right, next up is the CML Policy Committee. Is this the Legislative Policy Committee? Or is this something different that they're asking for?
Let's see, this is the CML Policy Committee.
This is what Steve and I do?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to maintain doing that. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah, if this is the same thing we've been doing, sure.
Right. Anybody have a problem with that? Anybody want to take it on?
No.
It's really fun.
Liar.
I can tell from the language and the nonverbals.
Okay. And then last, this is to nominate for the small municipality to the Fountain Creek Watershed District Board of Directors. This is really important. Councilmember Romanello sat on that board for, I think, his entire time that he was on council or close to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it was. I know that it was, I don't know if it was his entire time, but definitely in recent years for sure.
Right. Very important that we have really solid representation given the impact that Monument Creek has on Fountain Creek's watershed district. So
again, I would be honored to fill Jim's vacant seat on that board. Very passionate about the watershed district as well. So yeah, ask for your support.
what do we, besides appointing or nominating, because I believe that the board, the Fountain Creek Watershed Board will make the selection, right?
It was my understanding that we had to submit a name, and then I feel like either their board or possibly even the county commissioners had some sort of say in it. But I will get with Ally Shook on the next steps in the process once we have a name.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with Smith?
Nope.
Okay. Smith it is. All right, next up is public comments for items that are on the agenda. Individuals attending in person may raise their hand to indicate their desire to comment. Individuals attending via Teams may raise their hand digitally to comment via connected devices or select your favorite emoji. Please lower your hand when finished with your comments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Anybody here are you sure? I don't know. You're here. Anybody else that would like to make a public comment? Young man? No? What are you here for?
Citizenship, community, merit badge.
Oh, so you're a scout. Very good. You want to tell
For
everybody?
sure you have
You want
to
to,
come
yeah,
up.
you got to come up and tell us who you are.
It's part of the merit badge. It's in the fine print, the fine print.
My name is Evan Larson. I am a part of Troop 17, and I'm here to finish my citizenship in the community merit badge because they thought I did it, but I didn't.
Oh.
Because I started it in January, and the requirements for 2024 were you could attend it digitally.
Oh.
But
Well, let's give you some proof. Come on back here.
Yeah.
Dad, you get a picture. Come on up. You know, come on all the way up. Get in between, get between all of us. You need to move over.
Yeah. Proof.
Oh, yeah, have a seat.
There you go. Proof of life, right there. Let's see your seat. With
Let the
the
mayor
gavel, with the gavel.
Good job. Good job.
Now you get 2 merit badges.
Mayor for a day and a merit badge. All right, well, thank you for letting us know. And when, are you gonna go for Eagle Scout?
Yeah.
We've got some great Eagle Scouts in town. I hope you've got some big shoes to fill. We've got monuments, we've got P-51s. If you can get us a new town hall or a police station, that would be great. Okay, we'll work with you on that. Anybody else that got some public comments here? Will, anybody online? Okay, Connor, you've got 3 minutes.
Hello, I am also part of the Boy Scout thing. I am also currently doing this for my merit badge for communications. I'm pretty sure the rules have changed. However, just in case, we're doing it here, and I couldn't be in there in person today, so this is my chance. My question is hold on. Whoops. My question is, with the engineer, what will they be fixing usually? Like, will it just be building permits and pipelines or any of other that? Or is it like for the community, like can the community ask them to do certain things?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
May I?
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, we're talking to scouts. Why don't you educate?
Sure.
Don't try it, Dan.
Try it.
You have that
Try
gavel.
it.
I don't want to go. Yeah. That's an excellent question. The town engineer will be working for the town manager and then delegating the authority to both the planning department and the public works department. So if there's issues that you see out in your neighborhood or in places in town that you think are engineering issues, you contact either myself in the planning department or through it. And actually, the website's got a great place. There's a easy place to click on that just says
Report a concern.
what's that?
Report a concern.
Report a concern. I haven't had to click it in a while. But there's a site, there's a button on our front page of our website that says report a concern. But if you have general questions about stormwater or road conditions, something that you think an engineer might want to take a look at, start with the planning department, and we will find ourselves somebody who specializes in providing that kind of support. Well, we do want to address those issues when we can. Good question. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connor. Any other hands raised? All right, we will close public comment and we will go to the best part of the night, the future agenda item authorization.
I'm gonna be disappointing. I don't have any items for you tonight.
It's going on.
Hang on.
You know, I just want to say that ever since that she's been an official town manager, she's been lightening up on that.
We've gotten better processes in place, I think. That's really what's happened.
All right. Next up, council comments. Any council members have any comments they would like to make? All right, I've got one. There was an email sent out today by our town clerk regarding the June 16th meeting minutes. A couple of responses have gone in. What I'm looking for is to have council provide direction to staff to put the corrected June 16th meeting minutes on the next, and thank you, consent agenda for us to approve. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you have been directed. Any other council comments? All right, seeing none, we will move on to executive session.
Oh. Is that Ken moaning? Is that the Master Chief moan? Is that the Master Chief moan?
No,
You
that
have a
was me.
comment, Ken?
Yeah, that was me trying to hit the come off mute. Hey, I do have a question or a comment. Over the
I'm
past,
sorry, you're breaking up. What did you say?
yeah, nice try. Anyway, hey, for the past over the past couple weeks, I've put in a couple of matters to address to the violations of the construction over at Home Place Ranch that's been pointed out to me via residents over there. I confirmed it. And I'm just wondering here's a staff question. What are we actually doing about it? Have we sent letters in the past? Have we sent fines yet? If not, why?
Now it's off. There we go. Hi, Counselor Kimball. This is Dan Ungerleider, just in case you can't hear me.
We've got cameras.
You got, oh, hi. First of all, I'll be meeting with the Tri-Lakes Home Builders Association meeting tomorrow morning, where I'll have most of the development communities sitting around a table staring at me, and I'm going to tell them and remind them again that of our construction hours. We have sent out letters to all the development community, reminding them of our construction hours and to abide by them. We can do that again. What's really key about there's two things key about this issue. One is we have to witness the problem to find. We don't see if we as the police department or the planning department don't see it happen, we can't stand up in front of a judge and say that there's been a violation. Recommend they document, take pictures, whatever they need to do. We'd be glad to catch someone doing work in inappropriate hours. But the other part too is I think we, unless they're doing work in when we're all sleeping, we want them to get these projects done. As frustrated as we are with them doing work on the weekends, I would probably recommend to you in the future, coming back to you saying we should probably change our hours. We want this work finished. As long as they're not doing something where it's at normal sleeping hours, I just don't, I think we're holding some of these contractors up if they're trying to get their house done or completed. But that's a debate for another day, and I'll certainly bring that to you. And then I think the last piece is we don't have a code enforcement officer right now. So we really have no way to follow up or chase this down other than what I'll be doing with the executive or the management pieces to that development community. So I'll be going to, I'll talk directly to the owner of that company or the executive director or the division president tomorrow and remind them that this is a problem and they need to stop.
Well, what I thanks, I appreciate that, but here's my basic, my basic concerns, excuse me. Number one, there's always going to be construction in one form or fashion, way or another. It's never going to end. So to hear the developers or other people say, look, we just want to get it done. They're building homes or there's construction projects in the town, whether they're behind schedule due to weather or something else, it's all baked into the schedule. It's all planned for. When they're doing it on a weekend or they're doing it on a Sunday, early in the morning, we don't know what the residents' sleeping schedules are. Some work night shift. There's kids involved, so it becomes you could argue, or there could be an argument made about health and safety when we're already giving up 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for them to work. How much more time is needed to be given away? You know, when do the residents, when do the community members get a break? When do they get a rest? When do they have to, when can they stop hearing pneumatic tools being worked with? That's what I'm driving at.
And I can appreciate that, and I'll bring more information from other communities to show what other communities are doing, and then council as a whole will have to make a determination if you want to stay with the exact schedule or make changes. But I hear you, and I'm living next to a construction site now, so I understand it's annoying, but I want it to finish and go away.
Because we talked about this over a year ago about implementing fines, and I still haven't seen anything written or done. Like what are the fines? What is the amount? To me, that's what's going to attract, or that's what's going to get developers and subcontractors' attention once and for all, instead of us being nice and saying, please stop it, don't do it again.
I agree with Ken, because 6 days a week is enough. And we've had lots of conversations. It doesn't seem to ever end. They need to try to police their own. And this project's been dragging on. And parents, I would like to see it done too, but been dragging on for a long time.
I'm not defending one development over another. I'm just saying that we'd like to, anything we can do to get the project finished next door to someone's house. I think we should be considering it. But of course, we're going to be coming back to you with we're amending our nuisance section of our code. We'll be talking about that. But the key element to code enforcement is you have to witness it. You have to have a code enforcement person witness it. They can't get up in front of the judge and say that we're going to fine this person based on something that was reported by someone. Yes, the code enforcement officer has to be involved with that. So until we have a code enforcement officer who can be called out on a Sunday morning to address or catch the problem, it'll be very difficult to issue a fine to that developer. I have in other cases, not for noise, but I have in other cases stopped issuing permits when a developer is not behaving or not installing something right, or hasn't paid for certain fees for other parts of their other components of their project. We could look at that, but I still need to have evidence. Otherwise, I'm going to be challenged in the courts, and I don't want the judge to tell me that I'm enforcing a law that's not enforceable.
So are you saying the picture that I sent from Sunday that I took of the folks using pneumatic tools putting on a roof on a Sunday morning is not enough evidence? It has to be a code enforcement officer. A town council member doesn't have the weight or the clout to say that this is happening?
Councilor Kimball, I haven't seen those photographs, so I'll take a look at them. And as I said, if those photographs are showing that the work was being conducted at a certain time and the photograph is time stamped, I'll certainly bring that to the developer and let them know that they're at risk of going to court. And I'll have to talk to our attorney to see if that's enough evidence to bring something forward.
Oh, let me ask you this. If we issue them fines, that's not necessarily a court date. They would have to agree, or they would have to challenge the fine, right?
Well, I would, the way I've done it is I have to bring them to court to give them a fine. I can't just issue a fine myself, but we could take a look at that and see how that works. And in many cases, the contractor or the developer is going to be willing to pay the fee because they're going to see it as a fee, not a fine.
We do get quite a few emails from people, and some of them have just been so frustrated that they've just quit after been frustrated at us, quite frankly. And I don't know. I know Mitch and I have been out there a bunch of times in the last year, and I don't know what we do, but I'd sure like to try to see if we can do something, because it's just not fair.
Well, let me start tomorrow by talking to Challenger Homes directly and see where I go, and I'll take a look at those photographs and see if that's enough to issue a ticket and go before the judge and see if we can get some fines issued and a warning set. So, but there is a process. I don't have the authority, as the police department, just to issue a fine based on limited information. But again, Councilor Kimball, I didn't see the pictures, so I'll be glad to take a look at those and see if we can use those.
To
Code enforcement, Mayor.
I never got that high up, so I'm not really got one. I got one online and one here. Anything else, Ken, on that?
No, I just think that we've talked about it enough. We're getting enough emails and phone calls. I know the mayor and the mayor pro tem and some of the other council members have been out at some of the sites. And I think we need to take better action at representing our community.
Thanks. I don't disagree, Councilmember Kemple.
Bringing that up.
Yep. Okay, next up is our executive session. I will move that we make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to 24-6-402 subtact 4 subtact B of the Colorado Revised Statute for a conference with the town attorney to receive legal advice on specific legal questions, and pursuant to 24-6-402 E CRS to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiation, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators both regarding economic development incentives.
And we will be adjourned
Second.
afterwards.
We have a motion and a second. Yes, we will be adjourning from the executive session. And that mode. Thank you for coming tonight. And we will be clearing the room out for our executive session. Those that are required to stay, please stay, and thank you.